Oh, there's a copy pasta from Interrogator. I
We
love
showed up. Oh my god. I love that copy pasta. I love it. All right. So we have a brick versus a triangle here. Probably the two most boring avatars in the game, matching with your fun facts here. We love
I
to see
like the
it.
fact that you called it a brick because I'm pretty sure that's actually a book, but I've been calling it a brick forever, and chat likes to
Everyone
run with
calls
it.
it a brick. Okay. It's a brick. Look
It's
at
a
it.
brick.
It's a brick that yells at you. Okay. That's
Yeah.
all it is. All right. So we're starting off here. We showed not going for the classic 6-3 open, which honestly we love to see.
Yeah, we do see Yao in the 2-7 stat.
I'm so looking forward to this matchup, not knowing what's gonna come from both sides here. This is, for me, who hasn't really seen either of these players play too much TEC, this is kind of a wild card for me, and I'm loving the energy.
Yeah, we're gonna see Yao zone from the bottom. Very ballsy move here. We're gonna see both players end zone at relatively similar times. Nakagi is gonna be accepting a lot, but it is pretty clean.
Yeah, that is pretty clean. That is what we are used to seeing. And hello, if we're talking about that matchup from Jaden earlier of how both players were able to get close to that 60,000 point before that second zone, that's exactly what Diao is doing right now. That's what they just did.
In a minute 10 seconds transition.
A minute 10 on
it.
3/4 of the second zone is insane right there.
And we are gonna see some nice funnel stacking from
Ooh,
Nakagi.
that was almost a PC.
Terrifying. Fine.
Yeah, and Diao was just able to put on the pressure here, having Nakagi at the top of their board. Definitely Diao is trying to close things out with this zone here, and this is a very dominant performance so far.
Yeah, because we see that Nakagi's playing extremely well, and then we just look at Diao's board and they're doing so much. Just trying to edge out this advantage. Despite the height difference, Diao's material is just that much more accessible.
But Nakagi's working through this very well. Definitely not an easy situation to be in here, but they're working through it, and they're finding the efficiency that they need to through this stack here to stay alive. Amazing combo there.
Very well said, but at this point, they are just at the mercy of their Q to give them the T-pieces, and it's too far.
Too late there with that T-piece, and Diao is going to take the first round.
Yeah, the fractal vision is absolutely insane from these players. Especially if we look over at the outside, the kind of things that they see with these donations. And Nakagi's gonna accept the PC and go straight into 6-3. Unfortunate eyepiece misdrop. One thing I do like to comment on is PCO, although it does have its controversies, it's good to just like initiate clean to the game really fast. Just like to speed it up. Because sometimes that early stage can just be a lot slower than you want it to be. Because like you know you're going to receive that back.
Yeah, for sure. We do see Nakagi with a little bit of a misdrop here. Diao definitely not where they want to be with this zone, only finding 13 lines out of it.
Actually seeing the complete end of it on Nakagi's board right now. But that combo from Diao, is this the legendary Diao stack that I've heard about?
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing so far, and we are back to about even here. We are getting close to that phase 3. Diao is probably going to be the one to trigger it with a higher score and half zone here.
Nakagi's showing off some down stacks of their own, but Diao does have the zone advantage, even if it's just by a few lines. And I feel like whoever zones here is going to transition it either way, so the pacing doesn't matter as much as usual. And that misdrop from the outside is looking a little bit spooky. Nakagi's got a nice opportunity here. Diao chooses not to do a zoneless transition.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart decision here because the zone can give you so much ammunition going into that phase 3. If you have a lead, then you can really take advantage of it with that zone.
Very well said. And Nakagi trying to squeeze out those extra lines. Oh, they get the direction swap. because that rotation was not able to just be held down. They had to hold down 2 at once in order to get that next piece to spawn. Always very interesting to see when that works out.
Yeah, we do see. Ooh, I thought Diao was setting up a side 4 wide there, but not quite. Nakagiiroha with some insane efficiency here with this garbage as both players are trying to close this out.
Yeah, I feel like both players have a relatively similar amount of material, but that zone advantage is going to go kind of crazy. And Nakagi's going to be doing a lot of counting to 4 here, because it's really going to be that efficiency that edges it out if you look at how little damage that they have on their side right now.
Yeah.
Putting more box shapes.
Yeah, another kind of stalemate right here, but I feel like both players have made a couple more mistakes than the last players that we saw in this type of stalemate.
More mistakes and more risks. It's surprising that nobody's gotten like severely punished yet.
Right. That's kind of what you expect to see in this phase 3, but yeah, not yet.
Yeah, sets up a very clean floating and Nakagiiroha in the zone. Once again, we're gonna see a lot of counter force here, just that subtle difference. And ooh, that's a little bit scary. That misdrop gonna force them to do some all spin fixes and break their back-to-back. But Diao's too high on the board to really use their material, so even in such high advantage state, they can't secure a kill. We are back in neutral. Those down stack combos are gonna go crazy from both players. I think that's what they're looking for. You can definitely see like the mental switch flip in their mind. Do I focus down stack or do I focus efficiency? And it's always interesting to like see exactly, like pinpoint the moment where that switch happens. TST from Nakagiiroha. Gonna try and trivialize the counter that Diao has, but that is an insane overstack from Diao for phase 3, and the misdrop on Nakagi's side, they do have the J-tuck in order to fix, but it is still looking scary. They don't see the end of their garbage at all, but this down stack is looking nice. Now is a better opportunity than ever to start their zone, but Diao is still clean. They find a PC, and that PC, if the zone doesn't do it, it's gonna be pretty scary.
Yeah, and the garbage queue not visible still for Nakagiiroha here as they are trying to find that quarter zone, not finding it, and that is going to be the round for Diao.
Five-minute round. Despite Diao being on sweet pace, it's definitely like a score doesn't tell the whole story. You've been here for the rounds, you've seen it all happen. Very close games, very well played on both sides. But it is very interesting to see that Diao does not seem to favor 6-3. Always trying to do some LST instead.
Yes, the 6-3 is something we're really used to seeing in TEC. A lot of players just take it as the meta, but I kind of like to see a little bit of challenging that because, again, like it feels like phase 1 is the formality, but it is kind of cool to see players doing something a little bit different with that time.
Love to see the variation, and ooh, unfortunate misdrop from Nakagiiroha, but they're gonna cleanly make it out of there, even if it's a tank to their efficiency. And Diao is going to find 57 in 19, so pretty efficient, but Nakagiiroha is gonna have a lot to tank. It's gonna be a matter of accessing the well, gets the pieces that they need when they need them, and that pace is going to go insane on the counter spike.
Yeah, that was some pretty lucky RNG there as they are now able to throw a little bit of Diao's damage back at them as Diao is forced to take this quarter zone here.
It just barely doesn't transition, but those misdrops on Nakagi's side, it's gonna compromise the advantage that they just had.
Yeah, and that advantage I would argue is completely gone at this point, and they are not in a great spot.
Yeah, Diao kind of just robbed that advantage and robbed the score as well.
And that is 3-0 to Diao's side. I would say Diao definitely has the cleaner play so far. It'll be difficult for Nakagiiroha to turn this around.
All right, there's that double 6-3, but we're going to see Diao take the T-spin immediately. Not often you see that from players at this level. Efficiency above all else is what Diao's motto is right now. Love to see it. Aki trying to stay in 6-3 over top of their garbage.
Nice donation find from Dia right there. Both players almost the exact same score pacing right now.
Gotta see what this zone does. I don't see it doing too much in terms of like the overall outcome of the match, just because of like how efficient they both are, but those misdrops from Nakagi might be challenging that statement.
This is not a good zone. Like, this could end it early if Dia was fast enough with this zone.
And Diao's gonna send like 56 or something, 55.
Yeah, Nakagi has a quarter zone here, but this is not a good situation. Okay. Okay. They find well access. That's what they need, and so they will be able to maybe live here?
They did have the overcharge. They're gonna find that survival, gonna find that well, get the eyepiece when they need to, and go
luckily,
all the way down.
Yeah, luckily Dia hasn't pushed this into phase 3 yet, so they are able to work through that pretty clean garbage, but they're still on the back foot entering what now is phase 3.
Still trying to find those count to 4s. As a TSD donation, opening their well, not covering it, but no IRS, there is death.
Yeah, no IRS there, and Diao did have an SDSD set up to try to continue to put pressure on there, and they are going to be the first to bring it to match point.
Oh, we see a DT cannon actually based? Not often you see that in this game.
Yeah, love to see the DT cannon.
Naki's gonna find a very nice count to 4 as they enter a 3-6 stack. Very nice garbage that we see here. Taking the float. I
love that floating. That was so cute.
Amazing float. And then another donation. Hold on. Naki's kind of just flexing right now.
Love to see it. The eye miss drop there. The only reason I could tell that was an eye miss drop is slight hesitation. Otherwise, I would have been like, oh, all right. Yeah, they know.
Yeah, that's most of the time what you see in these players. Really those slight hesitations. That's really gonna let you know. Just keep you guessing. Oh no, that SZ misdrop from Nakagi. Pretty scary scenario to be in against Diao's full zone.
Yeah, but luckily we are still early into this match, so this is a very livable situation for Nakagi right now as they are able to start that zone here. They should be able to defend away most of this, but Diao already pushing past 50,000 points.
I was not expecting like that finesse mishap to actually be a good thing. Because of that, they were able to spend more time in zone and bolster their pace more by just tanking. So now they are not at a zone disadvantage. They should be, despite Diao ending zone so much earlier.
Yeah, and there is our phase 3 ding, our 60,000 point mark, and Nakagi with that prophecy into this TST into it. Well, that's a C-spin. That's just full. Yeah, I did not see the C-spin. Very well thought out there. I love it when
I think
players
Nakagi can use all their mats, but they run out of time.
Yeah, they ran out of time. I love it when players, I'm like, oh, nice TST, and then I look at the C-spin, did not even notice there was a C-spin before. Like, they're thinking so far ahead in these moves.
So far. Nakagi's looking for that down stack. Unfortunately, it does end up breaking, did not get the sequence they wanted.
Right, and Diao just putting on pressure here, still finding a lot of good combo at the bottom of the board. That's the hardest place to pressure from, and Diao's finding a way to do it. That is a misdrop that Diao just converted into a T-spin, and a little bit of, okay, yeah, just finds another, okay, wow. The fact that Diao is able to have like 3 fallbacks for the same T-spin is just insane.
Actually just like reminiscent of Plankton. They've got plan A through Z on every single one of their placements, and it is always interesting to see it executed.
Oh no, it is insane. It's wild to see Diao with 3/4 on here is able to tank all of the garbage coming in. Nakagi has a misdrop over the well, handling it very well, turning it into a T-spin. This is gorgeous.
Trying to get as much accessible mats at all. Always interesting when you see players disregard their garbage in terms of just sending more and more damage. It is a viable strat in phase 3.
Diao's eye spin right there is just so insane. I think that the Tetris update has incentivized, I'm not saying from Diao specifically, but just has incentivized more all spins shenanigans, and I love to see that.
It's amazing. All spins are always so hype,
so fun. But
yeah, we keep returning to neutral, but as I say that, I realize that Nakagi has 3 entire quarters of a zone advantage, so... Diao's not in the best spot considering their height, but this looks very down-stackable.
Yeah, like you mentioned, very down stackable. Ooh, not exactly finding the efficiency that they want, but Diao does have a little bit of pressure here, a little bit of garbage on the board, but they are down far. And hello, the side ties?
This is actually like one of the best use cases for a side 4-wide.
Oh, this is perfect.
If they got the O piece a little earlier, they could have found a T-spin in that, and I think that's what they were going for if they had to find the bail.
But that was perfect. That negated all of Diao's zone here. That's exactly what the use of the side 4-wide is here.
Yeah. Perfect execution.
Yeah, that was such a tight input there from Nakagi, being able to get the piece over before Diao could send attack, and they are forced to use a full zone right at the top of the board here.
They are going to end it quick though, but that's going to send absolutely nothing to Diao, who is now at a full zone and in a 7-2 stack. Diao is also very known for their LST, but they didn't even need the zone, and that is going to be the set.